Just to kind of first dive into the element of like, do you love the game? Think about it in terms of if you're a travel club owner building out your teams, if you're a parent wondering what are the signals that you see, it becomes quite evident pretty quickly when a kid is baseball obsessed.
Yeah.
You're going to see them wearing their travel ball club uniform 7 hours after a game, out to dinner.
Sleeping in it.
Exactly. Hey, you smell. Put on a new shirt. But no, it's like that is their identity. And like it's so important with these kids. Like playing baseball isn't always about playing at the next level. It is giving someone a chance to be in a position to have to fail and get back up and be successful. And that's where the sport is so powerful. There's so many things that happen in a baseball player's journey that's going to position them to be successful in life, as a friend, as a family member, in their professional career. And so we want that to be the outcome. We don't necessarily have to drive for excellence in terms of playing collegiately, playing professionally, but we want this next generation of kids that we're nurturing to really take the qualities and learnings from sport and have the best experience possible to have the most impact on where we go from here. And so one of the, like, how to get players to a point where they love the game, easy thing to do is first, kids need to watch baseball, have the TV on. This is like the benefit of the sport where there's 162 plus games a year. The college season starts in February before there's even games televised. You could have baseball on TV almost all year long. And a lot of what's happened right now is just not the proper supplement for the value of watching the game. Kids these days go on YouTube and they see these like highlight reels of, call it like Shohei Ohtani just hitting home run after home run. What they're missing, and like the big part of like why long form watching games matters, is what they don't see is Ohtani went 0 for 3.
Well, yeah, and these kids don't ever see these big players experience failure. They don't know how to handle that because you model the behavior. And so if they're just seeing the highlights or seeing home runs, they just see the celebration, they see the excitement, but they don't see those players in those moments of failure and how they go about those.
Exactly. And so the minute these kids step on a field and fail, they get on the mound, they can't throw a strike. You haven't built up that belief system to know, actually, this is the way the game works. How I respond is what's going to be the reason why I have a chance to be successful. If you're anchoring to the past and not in the present, like your future is done. So building that defensibility against when things are tough, how do I respond, is how you sustain and build a love for the game. It goes beyond output driven. It's more input.
Yeah.
Those inputs matter.
So what are some of those inputs? What are some ways that hitters can go about training those moments and training the skill to be able to handle that failure?
So one of the ways to building off of that is not just watching, but it's also what you do.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot, that I would say around it, and I mentioned this before about everyday counts. Well, doing something baseball related or baseball adjacent every single day matters, and it's a pillar. And so that doesn't mean go play games every day. And before When Reality existed, like one of the things I did as a kid that was like, in hindsight, so monumental is in our backyard, we were fortunate enough to have like a little patch of like what at one point was a small like sport court, like a half like basketball net. So there was enough room for my dad to basically, instead of pitching to us, because like, again, a lot of parents couldn't pitch well enough or hard enough. And my dad could, but he wanted to do overspeed training. He grabbed a tennis racket and he would serve to me.
Yep.
And, come from all different angles. And it was, probably 95 miles an hour. And I was 12 years old, and he would bounce them. So he would like serve bounces and I would have to hit them. And so like, that was an example of something that is the reason I like love the game so much. And it wasn't, in uniform, on an organized field, going to a tournament. It was just in 20 minutes at 7:00 at night. And also began to, like, those conditions built habits that actually gave me an identity as a hitter, to where like we had a short porch in left field, left-handed hitter, like I'd want to hit everything that way.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm a good opposite field hitter because that's where the home run was in our made up game.
So that's a great way to develop that.
And you're not even thinking about it as a kid.
No.
You're
just competing, you're solving problems, you're creating a challenge that there's no precedent of what is successful here. I don't have to hit 300. It's like, this ball's bouncing off the ground. I got to figure this out.
Yeah, and really what we've done is building off those same principles. Like there's a lot of science behind what we've done in Win, but also a lot of like what I would call baseball feel. And if you were to use our application, there's no reason why on every single day you could do something totally different and win, whether it's a different type of pitcher, it's a different type of drill mix. So we have pitches that disappear.
Yeah.
We have pitches that like, you got to see it, the early cue recognition out of the hand and identify. And so there's like, you talk about variation that keeps it fun, that builds love for the game. In our virtual reality application, you never have to do the same thing. So that like redundancy that makes kids feel like, oh wow, I have to practice to get good at this sport. You don't have to do anymore. It's fun. And it has the element of, just playing stickball in the backyard, but built on like the right science.
Yeah.
And that gets into like some of the skills portion. But fundamentally, like if aside from the skills that we're drilling home with Win, if you just use it to have a moment in which your son, daughter, player, your travel ball coach is creating a deeper attachment to the game, that's going to lift the whole boat and start to build up that foundation and belief system. Like, I love this. This is who I am. This is something I want to be good at. And that goes a really, really long way.